moving right along. At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis and the Entelekes, which can control it. Yet most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth. Except for Hermes, it seems. And the last time it ever was brought up was centuries ago, which means more than one. Thus, I am inclined to stay our current course and learn all we can about the Chief Overseer and his familiar. And on that subject, was there aught else of note you can tell me about Meteon, aside from her unorthodox method of communication? There are more like her. She has sisters. Oh, well, that's better. Yeah. To search for intelligent life. I rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? I told you that Emmett Sulk was a bad guy, and that you sent me back into the past. What more do you want? So these siblings of hers now travel the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Thank you. Though the mystery at hand remains unresolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I propose we take ourselves to Peripetia? Crystalline, not far from here. Just follow the path to the west. Aye. Ooh, my griffin. My bird. Or burb, as the kids say. As the youth. How do I get up there? Not like that, apparently. Can I go up through this way? I will jump up this cliff if it's the last thing I do. Apparently not, though. Oh, Primordial Hippo Surf. That's an interesting name. Not very mount-like, though. 10 out of 10. Do not like. This tower and the one further along are both part of Peripetia Crystalline, the facility where they archive all of Alepus's observational and testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magically interconnected spaces, which, while fascinating, is not the reason we are here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lesson short and see what those two archivists have to share. If you could find someone to speak with over at the other tower, I shall join you there anon. That is cool. A pocket dimension within the building. No big deal, I guess. And they're connected by arches, it seems. Peripetia Archivist. You have questions for me? Certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. We're going to go with that as the voice. Oh, wow, there's very little lag. Nice. Indeed. So if you could provide a comprehensive log of those behaviors, we should... Oh. The Chief Overseer's personal research project, and by that I assume you mean Meteon. Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes by past without seeing a research trail by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Meteon appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although, I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Galen shared with me. Galen is my partner and a fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Meteon heavensward, a host of them. For several days she would speak of that scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she had ever witnessed. That sounds like a story I should like to hear. Mistress Vena, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Ah! Pray do not mention it. As you say, my original plan was to leave after that task, but I have since become engrossed with Chief Hiramy's research. Would you favor me with a retelling of this sight which so delighted your Gaileen? Of course, you could hear it from her lips directly if you prefer. Gaileen, darling. At present, she should be observing a subject in Metabasos Thalasi. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters of the world's oceans, recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Vena. Even though such pursuits most continually and regretfully delay your return to the stone. Indeed they do. 'Tis a rest well deserved and long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered for the wisdom you accumulated during your travels as Azam. And what would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed served as the basis of my many techniques still in use today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody that nature with as much enduring passion as you. I dare say there's not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I hope you die, bitch, but in a nice way. I will be honored. We shall? Shall we take this opportunity to meet with Gaileen in person? Or is it Galene? Then allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. We'll take you up to the Skyway and spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. That would be most helpful, thank you. Milady, right this way. I have opened the path to the Skyway. Once you pass through the door, simply walk straight across to the next tower and ask for admittance to the upper tier. Upon arriving at the upper tier, walk straight across the Skyway, and you will find yourself at the entrance of Metabasos Talasai. Gaileen will be eager to share her tale with you, I am sure. Oh man, that one was a little rough. Get on a mount to traverse. Hell yeah. The tower ahead is still part of Peripetia Crystalline. We will need to ask for passage to the upper tier. Mistress Vena, just passing through? Then allow me to prepare the path. If you need further assistance, there is always an observer or two out on this upper skyway. Because he was excited to see her. A fan. Vena! Vena! Alright, so these are Stairway to Heaven. On the highway to hell. I don't know. Ooh, look at the pretty. Yeah, this definitely reminds me of the, I don't remember what it's called because I haven't been back since I got back into the game. The Sky Builders area. That's what this really reminds me of. Is the Sky Builders zone. With all the flora and fauna and the floating land masses. I think that's pretty tight. That door leads into the Talasai, but perhaps we can trouble this person for assistance with finding Galien. Mistress Vena, I was not told to expect. We would have prepared an official welcome. Please, there is no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Galien, if that might be arranged. Ah, yes, Galien. Of course, I will inform her immediately. But she may be engaged in a testing phase. You could be in for something of a wait. Should I let her know your business is urgent? That won't be necessary. This lovely view will keep us occupied until she is ready to receive us. True. Kick a glass of whiskey back, smoke a cigar? Hell yeah. Voice acting?
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view.
What more could a lady want?
What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place?
I mean, sure. I mean, Eorzea isn't not pretty. I mean, it's a planet. I don't know what you want.
Dark, hidden places, rife with danger. Those have an altogether different, but no less powerful sort of appeal.
Okay, now I know who Vana reminds me of. Every single princess from every single JRPG who's like, "Oh, take me with you on your journey, young adventurer. I can't wait to get my hands dirty and fight all the rascals and rapscallions that you encounter." Dagger from Final Fantasy IX. Aerith, to a greater degree, was a princess. And loved to get into hijinks. This lady, Zelda, Princess Zelda specifically, Princess Peach, her sister. I'm pretty certain the princess from Final Fantasy I, the princess from Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise, the princess from Final Fantasy II, Terra from Final Fantasy VI. I can't remember who the princess was, but there was another one in Final Fantasy V. In 8, there wasn't really a princess, but Renoa was kind of the goody two-shoes who got possessed by Ultimecia and then wanted to be a rapscallion. 10, Yunalesca. Yuna. 12. Oh, Ash, straight up, is the warrior princess. So, I mean, it's like, Vana, way to join that company.
While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures?
Well, they started because of
not
you.
The portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans.
Well, there was that time at the pie eating contest.
But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveller. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account.
It's true. It's fun hearing about other people's travels. It really is. I was stationed in Japan. I got to do foreign exchange in Germany. Then I was stationed in Arkansas. I've been around the block a little bit. It's pretty fun. Highly recommend. Definitely travel if you ever get the opportunity to do so. Even if it is within your own country or state, get out of your town, get out of your house. Just for a weekend if that's all you can do. Just the change of atmosphere and scenery usually does the body and soul good.
Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it.
Oh, you mean when we made Estinian do the thing?
Yours is a harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, your brethren hold fast to their virtue.
That's right.
To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart.
But why did we shrink so much?
Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word.
Is it like the dinosaurs? It was a more oxygen-rich environment back then, and
As
we
you
just
know,
shrank.
I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world.
Good luck.
What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? When sprung mankind?
Piddly things, you know.
Riddles and mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them.
That would be impressive.
Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us, born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity.
So, I don't want to bore you with too much science because, you know, oh, the wrong thing there. But, like the building blocks of life, when I went in high school, we learned about electrons, protons, and neutrons, but now there's bosons and fermions and antions and blah, 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 blyons, and we find out that these are one-dimensional things that create two-dimensional particles that then form the building blocks, the electrons, the protons, and the neutrons, which create three-dimensional matter as we understand it. And it's like, you go down that rabbit hole, it's like, well, okay, bosons can't possibly be the standard. It would have to go beyond that, until there is a true nihilus, a true zero, a true non-existent form, but from that would still have to form something, right? And that would be pure potential. And I find that kind of metaphysical physics truly astonishing. I could, honestly, if I had a bigger audience and I could just sit and chatting and be discovered and just talk physics with people all day long, I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined, it could be done.
I mean, that's literally your guys' existence. It's literally Elpis.
A passion swelled within me. An epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true.
Yeah, we're just...
And a presence without.
Stardust.
Immense, yet intimate. Fate, perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace.
Stardust that's hallucinating.
As reassuring as it was intimidating. How keenly aware I became of creation's fragility, built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately, to hear its voice, feel its breath.
Same. If I could just travel, I would.
I ventured forth on a journey that very day. So very long ago now. Freed from presumption and prejudice, I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new. And so beautiful.
I'm actually jealous. Would that I could have
Lands
such an
that
experience.
stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning and my purpose. My love.
Now see, that's the real witch girls.
And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star. Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. The moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way.
Yeah.
You, who are our future, tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
Sure has. That's not a good answer. Don't keep the lady waiting.
Pray forgive my lateness. My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
Aww.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
We did.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteon. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation. As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone, like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling. But then another shot up, then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteon, the Metea, rather. There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
That's nuts, because they'd have to go faster than light in order to make it to
Dazzling
other star
spectacle
systems.
indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Oh, yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests.
Boo.
It shouldn't be long now, though. He
What a
often
cop-out.
returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
Hopefully it isn't the final days.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
This girl sprinted all the way over here for a
You're very
2-minute
welcome.
conversation.
It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls. Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link the doors for you.
Must be nice to be important, I guess.
Please.
You just ran all this way over here. I asked you one question, took 2 minutes of your time, and now, please, serve me. Wow, Vana. Don't let the messianic future go to your head or anything. So another piece of the puzzle falls into place. From what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others, which suggests that either someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. Since we have no reason yet to suspect the former, we should consider the latter the more likely possibility. Proceeding under the assumption, our next step should be to divine why, or even if, he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. Damn! She's going straight for the throat! Listen, I don't think he's choosing to do this. I think Meteon dies, or suffers, or something like that, and that's what triggers it. I don't think he goes out to set it off.